Hey everyone, I'm Traffy, and today we'll be explaining Hakkai Shiba, Vice Captain of Toman's 2nd Division. But before that, make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more Tokyo Revengers content like this. And with that aside, let's get into it. Hakkai Shiba is a timid but friendly individual who is first introduced to us after the Valhalla arc. Takemichi returns to the present where he sees Hakkai, an ex-Black Dragon who is now a Toman admin. Hakkai seemingly betrayed and killed the previous Black Dragon leader in order to become the 11th generation leader. Takemichi, determined to prevent this timeline, goes back to the past. Hakkai is the youngest of 3 siblings who lost their mother to an illness at a young age, leaving Taiju with the responsibility of raising them. As a result, Taiju began physically abusing both Yuzuha and Hakkai. Taiju believed he was teaching them discipline. He instilled Hakkai with the belief that love was painful, telling Hakkai that he cared about him more than anyone else. Influenced by his violent household, Hakkai would eventually fight other kids himself. However, while fighting at a park, he was interrupted by Mitsuya, who told him to use violence to protect. Mitsuya then invited Hakkai over to his place, where it was just him and his 2 younger sisters. Seeing Mitsuya's responsibility, Hakkai asks if it's hard to deal with, but Mitsuya tells him he shouldn't hate the situation he's born into. Eventually, Hakkai becomes the vice captain of Toman's 2nd Division, thanks to his friendship with Mitsuya, who controlled the division. Then, while bowling with Yuzuha, Hakkai encounters Takemichi, who just returned from the present. After scoring 2 strikes in sync, Hakkai introduces himself to Takemichi, forming a bond and inviting Takemichi over to his place. On the way back, Hakkai is asked about his relationship with Mitsuya, and Hakkai says that Mitsuya is like an older brother to him. But more importantly, Hakkai's phone had Mitsuya in its background. Now approaching Hakkai's house, they are intercepted by the 10th generation Black Dragons. They target Takemichi after realizing he's a part of Toman. Hakkai tells them to back off his friends, but the Black Dragons don't listen. Forced to get involved, Hakkai initiates the fight by beating down a Black Dragon and apologizes for getting Takemichi involved. Hakkai's older brother is the current leader of the Black Dragons. Inupi then threatens Hakkai, but Yuzuha immediately sends him flying with a kick. Furthermore, Yuzuha tells Takemichi to leave with Hina, but he gets attacked by Taiju, the 10th generation leader. Upon his arrival, Hakkai acts differently, as if he was scared. Taiju believed his family bond with Hakkai is more important than his friends. Yuzuha defends Hakkai, but she gets hit for interfering. Taiju then uncontrollably attacks Takemichi, but before he's fatally injured, Hakkai offers to quit Toman and join the Black Dragons in exchange for Takemichi's safety. Hakkai had decided this even before the conflict. 2 days later, a meeting was held with Toman's admin. During the meeting, Hakkai took full responsibility for his actions and even asked permission to leave Toman, but Mitsuya objects, planning to speak to Taiju. Mitsuya then meets with Taiju and offers Hakkai to the Black Dragons, but only if Taiju sets Yuzuha free. Mitsuya says Hakkai is leaving Toman to protect Yuzuha. Ultimately, Taiju agrees to never hit Yuzuha again. After the meeting, Hakkai seeks out Takemichi and explains his history. From a young age, Hakkai swore to protect his family. Since then, he's taken Yuzuha's hits for her, until Taiju broke his promise. Hakkai knows Taiju's deal with Mitsuya meant nothing. The reason Hakkai left Toman was to prevent him from giving the gang a bad name. His goal was to kill Taiju to protect his family. Hakkai planned to attack Taiju on Christmas night, when he'd be at the church alone. Takemichi and Shifuyu team up with Kisaki and Hanma to stop Hakkai from killing Taiju. The plan was for Takemichi to confront Hakkai while the other 3 stop Taiju outside the church. On the fateful day, Hakkai prepares himself to settle everything. Inside the church, Takemichi walks in to see a surprised Hakkai. Takemichi tries to reason with Hakkai, telling him murder won't protect anyone. Hakkai angrily explains what the Shiba household is like. If he doesn't wake up before Taiju, then he gets abused. If Hakkai even looks at Taiju, he gets punished. Hakkai tells Takemichi to stay out of his family business. Suddenly, Taiju walks in and Takemichi wonders if Kisaki betrayed them. Furthermore, Hakkai charges Taiju with the knife, but is grabbed by Taiju instead. Kisaki had betrayed Takemichi by tying up Shifuyu. Kisaki never intended to help them to begin with. He enjoys the thrill of betrayal. Hakkai is tempted by Taiju, but he's too scared to move, leaving Takemichi to fight alone. While Taiju fights, Yuzuha abruptly appears and stabs Taiju before he can reveal Hakkai's secret. Hakkai accuses Takemichi of telling Yuzuha his plan, but it was actually Kisaki who told her. Hakkai wasn't the one who killed Taiju in the original timeline, it turned out to be Yuzuha. Luckily, Taiju was spared thanks to Takemichi's yelling, giving him time to move. Yuzuha then confronts Taiju about his manipulation, but she gets attacked in response. Taiju begins crying, asking God why he has to kill his sister. Takemichi declares that he'll beat Taiju to prevent Hakkai from being corrupted, when Mitsuya suddenly appears. Chifuyu called Mitsuya beforehand in case Kisaki tried anything. Hakkai watches idly as Mitsuya fights for him, until Inupi arrives and hits Mitsuya from his blind spot. Mitsuya gets back up despite his severe injuries and tells Hakkai to help him fight Taiju. When it comes to it, Hakkai freezes up. Hakkai is still fixated on killing Taiju, but he's stopped by Takemichi again, who shows him what it means to fight. After exchanging blows with Taiju, Hakkai yells at Takemichi, telling him to give up, but Takemichi says that he'll take any chance of changing the future. Takemichi tells Hakkai that fighting on isn't painful, loneliness is. Takemichi gets through to Hakkai and Hakkai begs for help. Hakkai then reveals the truth about him and Yuzuha. Hakkai swore to protect his family, but he didn't have the guts to stand up to Taiju. Instead, it was Yuzuha who's been protecting Hakkai. Yuzuha took Hakkai's abuse for him all these years. Hakkai lied about protecting Yuzuha because he was intimidated by Taiju. Hakkai cries as his true family stands beside him despite him lying. Thanks to them, Hakkai found the courage to protect Yuzuha and assists Takemichi in fighting Taiju. Hakkai ends up being the last one standing since the others were injured previously. Hakkai believes he's hearing things, but it's actually Mikey's bike. After Mikey and Draken showed up and defeated Taiju, the event ended without a single casualty. The Black Dragons lost and Hakkai's corruption was prevented. Hakkai tells Taiju that he would never let him control their lives again. For as long as Taiju uses violence against his family, Hakkai will continue fighting. Later, Hakkai attends a festival with everyone and Yuzuha tells him about Taiju's last words. Taiju wanted to raise Hakkai to be strong. He couldn't change Hakkai, but Takemichi managed to do it. Taiju accepts that violence isn't the answer to everything before leaving on his own. In the end, Hakkai apologized to Toman for his actions and retained his position as vice captain of Toman's 2nd Division. But that's going to be it for Hakkai. If you want to see more Tokyo Revengers content like this, then make sure to like and subscribe, as it greatly supports my channel. Also, let me know your thoughts on Hakkai and who you'd like to see next. But with that being said, I'm Traffy, and I'll see you in the next one.